oral groups remotely. And those are just a few of the examples they're going. But today we're going to feature two colleagues who really have been doing something that is from their passion, their art, their discipline, but it is in response to COVID-19. I'm very pleased to introduce to you now, and I know they have a video presentation, but let me first introduce you to them. That's Darlene Farris-Labar and Shu or Stella Dong. Hi there, Darlene.
Hi.
Hi, Stella. All right. And we call this the community response to COVID-19, a 3D response, as well as followed by Chris Kavanaugh, who truly has an innovative response to COVID-19. Hi there.
Greetings. Thank you for having me.
I like the tie. It looks very good.
Oh, thank you.
So I turn it over to you.
Okay, well, we have Chris and Stella and I have prepared a video that Luis has already embedded in, but we would just like to do a quick introduction. My name is Darlene Farris-Labar. I'm from the Art and Design Department, and since we found out that school was closed and we were forced to go to remote learning, I thought, well, maybe we could still do something with our skills and resources. And so we just started to reach out to all the hospitals and gathering people up and trying to at least supply some PPE for all the area hospitals. They're in desperate need, and they are still going to be even more of a desperate need, from fabric face masks to the head shields, face shields, and ventilators that Chris will also talk about. So I'll carry it on then to Stella and Chris.
Hi everyone, I'm Stella and I'm from Art and Design Department. I'm very happy to share our stories. You can see from my background, our new designed face shield can be 3D printed and lightweight design. And then I can go for Chris.
And my name is Christopher Kavanaugh. I'm with the Department of Biology at East Stroudsburg University, and my research focus is in computational neuroscience, and my teaching focus is in human anatomy and physiology. And we've been working on ventilator designs that are inexpensive and functional, and we prepared a video which pretty much summarizes all of it.
On March 20th, the COVID-19 outbreak forced schools to transition to remote learning, leaving the Art and Design Department's 3D printing lab quiet. The Art and Design Department's 3D printing lab, however, continues to carry on. From 3D printed stethoscopes to 3D printed face shields, we quickly partnered with Joe Sinclair from Verdi Mantis 3D printers to analyze and look at solutions in order to get these face shields out to the healthcare systems quickly. We thought that transparency film would be very effective since we can acquire that in mass quantities. A 3-ring hole punch would be also great for being able to create the holes to attach on the face shields. And also we looked at how we can 3D print these fast very quick.
And this is our initial design with 4 tabs. You can attach the transparency film on this tabs, and then we narrow it down to 3 holes because we can use regular 3-hole binders. And then we also change the shape of the hook. We polish this and we extend the arms on the both sides, make it more longer, and we add a bridge between the 2 rings. And then we also polish our design on the backside hook, make it more secure for the people to wrap around the rubber bands and as well as the elastic bands. We find out when we transform the virtual design to the real 3D printing process, the hooks are too narrow, so it won't let the elastic go through. So we increase the distance between the hooks and make it work for the 3D printers. We also heard a lot of feedbacks from the healthcare professionals, and they want to wrap around the weather stripping, so make it more comfortable wearing on the heads. And also they want to avoid the droplets from top part, so we create another closed part on the top to avoid these issues. So these are very easy to be put on the main body. But our 3D printing test tell us that it doesn't work because of it lacks a flexibility. So we go back to the original design. We get rid of the bridge, make it more flexible. We also extend the tabs to secure the transparent film on both sides. And then we start to think about how to improve the efficiency for the makers when they set up their 3D printing. So we find a way, we trying to stack pieces together. We create the gaps between the pieces, and we create little cylinders trying to support this.
This design was really effective, especially for myself, because I could set up a print that night before I would go to bed and not have to worry about switching out the build every hour. Instead, the build had continued on for another 10 hours, and by the morning time, I was able to have 10 head shields for, for the hospitals. This multiplied our production 10 times. Here's an example of a 10 tiered stack. And here you could see where it was very easy to pop these apart. We printed hundreds of these, and it just made life much easier, more efficient. Yes, there was some little cleanup here and there, but it really wasn't that bad. We also were able to gather with a group of our area makers and also community partners as well. These community partners also 3D printed for us and continued to help us make hundreds of more. This is an example of our file that has gone out, and it now is at GoggleWorks.
We also start to expand our eyes to the other areas, what we can contribute to the healthcare communities, such as safety goggles, as well as safeguards for the masks, as well as I also include my students into these topics. So these are different solutions students created through the class: foldable face shield, incubations, and also the face shield produced by the new containers.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Dr. Christopher Cavanaugh, and I've been invited to talk a little about an emergency ventilator building initiative here at ESU involving a small but growing network of ESU faculty across various departments. We are doing what we can to help address the profound shortage of these life-saving devices amid the COVID crisis. Here is the latest version of our ventilator, and I just finished building a few days ago. The ventilator designs I'm focusing on are simple, cheap, and most importantly, they of course need to work. Simplicity in its electrical and mechanical design allows for emergency repair in the field. It also means, all other things being equal, less can go wrong. The construction price is in the $100 range with readily available parts from Home Depot, as can be seen being purchased here. What I'd like to do now is take you on a brief time-lapse tour of the latter half of the last 4 weeks. This video shows my assistant for the latter half of the project, Professor Patricia Varkados of ESU's Digital Media and Technology Department, who I was lucky to meet at the President's new faculty reception last year. Patricia is, by the way, an absolutely brilliant filmmaker, both on a creative and intellectual level. In fact, she edited this video that I'm about to show. Over the last 3 weeks, she's come over to my house 5 times, spending half of her day each time helping to build ventilators. Here's the video.
Hold on to your butts. Do you want to say anything? This is history, Chris.
Oh. V2. So, see if we can adjust the speed here. So, faster. Say that for me. Absolutely. Don't forget my number.
We're rolling, just so you know.
All right.
Take one.
That's freaking awesome. That's what we wanted.
Yes.
This is way better than the.
Yes.
This is the way to go. This is freaking awesome.
I will now briefly walk you through the chronology of events leading up to where we are now. Here is the very first ventilator I built. The following video shows me testing it on our lab spirometer, which is a device for analyzing respiratory airflow. Upon running a battery of spirometry tests, I noticed its airflow waveforms needed to be more sinusoidal, like shown here in this figure. This is particularly true for COVID patients under general anesthesia, for example, during endotracheal intubation, where the respiratory pattern is very close to that of a sine wave. This led to a radical redesign of the ventilator. The next prototype shown here in this next slide solved that problem. The following video explains the theory behind it. Here's another view showing its relative size next to the Coke.
So what this is essentially doing is it's taking circular functions and converting them into linear displacements. So, for example, when we stop the unit, and when this screw is at the right, say it's at the east compass point, we treat that as a height of 0. So when it goes to 90 degrees, sine of 90 is 1, so it would be a height of 1, and then back to 0 or 180 degrees, to 70 degrees and it's at -1. So it's oscillating as a sine wave as a function of the angle. So we adjust the frequency of the sine wave by the digital controls, and then the amplitude, which corresponds to the respiratory depth, is controlled simply by moving this pin. So you just simply relocate the pin to a different location. You simply adjust the amplitude of the sine wave for the respiratory depth. And that's basically how that sets.
At this point in the project, Patricia joined the team. Here she's helping me make the cover. Patricia also made a number of very important engineering contributions in implementing my design. On April 17th, the VentaBuddy Mini, which is what I call it, was demonstrated to the ICU respiratory team at the LVHN main campus at Cedar Crest, who were very interested in seeing it. Darlene graciously connected me with them.
Say that for me. Absolutely. Don't forget my number. Come on.
The respiratory team at LVHN were very enthused after the demo. They said its maximum use would be in a code blue at their hospital internally and in EMS. They also said it would be great for hospitals in the transport of ventilated patients, like, for instance, a nurse having to transport a COVID patient from the ICU to CAT scan. This is what Patricia and I put together the prior Sunday. She helped cut a hole for the piston assembly. This is one of the trickier steps in the process. Over the next 2 days, I finished the rest of it. This digital version of the Mach 4 has digital controls and a backup battery switchover and alarm if the AC goes out. Additionally, I would like to thank the following people who all played crucial roles, most notably across departments here at ESU. I would like to thank the president, the provost, and my chair for their ongoing amazing support and encouragement. Stella is helping me now 3D print an important part of the ventilator. Thank you.
Well, Chris, Darlene, Stella, I would say, even though everybody's muted, you took our breath away. You really, an incredible presentation of what the human mind can come up with, the educated human mind come up with in the face of adversity. I thank each one of you, and also the involvement of your colleagues and students in what is a really exciting new EduPlace, just to borrow from workplace there. I think will be an exciting, creative, responsive EduPlace at ESU. This is going to conclude our event today, but I just want again to say to the president, you must feel very proud, and also I know a little sad in leaving ESU, but what a note to leave on when you see the work of your students and your faculty.
Thank you very much. It is really amazing to see this much innovative spirit at ESU, and I know that we've worked long and hard to get here, and especially Darlene, the other two are newer, know how long and hard the process was. So thank you all for everything you do. You truly do put ESU on the map, so thank you.
Well, thank you, Marcia. And I just want you to know we're putting things in place thanks to your leadership. We have a great group of team to move us forward into the new normal, fall 2020. We have a group we call lovingly ACT, which stands for Academic Continuity Team, which represents the faculty governance areas in the Senate and APSCA leadership in the University Curriculum Committee and the Chairs Council, along with the registrar, as well as executive provost leadership team. That's the core group, but we rely on all the divisions, and they have really been working together, and we are in this together, and we will emerge victorious. I am confident. So on that note, thank you very, very much for joining us today. This has been taped. This is definitely for posterity reasons. This will be a day that everyone who participated will remember. So thank you all, and be well and be safe.